how are you guys navigating, especially with the uncertainty of obviously rates and the economy and all these things going on, having one of the higher ticket items? How are you navigating that?
Well, look, I think big picture is that there will always be demand for real estate. So from that lens, I'm really not worried at all. Like when people freak out, they're freaking out over 1 minute of an hour's worth of time, right? Like if we're buying real estate, we're not buying for a year. We're buying really for 25 years. So if 1 year or 2 years or 3 years aren't so great, that's okay. As long as you can weather that storm, you're going to be fine. You're going to be way better off and a lot happier over the duration of the 25 years, knowing that you bought and you rode the market, with cost. So for us, it's having that big picture outlook and being logical about where the city's going. We were talking earlier about how the city deals the hand. The city has very unique circumstances that other cities don't have. Look, we depend on pre-construction to be the driver of supply. B, there's no rental stock. There's no supply coming outside of pre-con. So without mom and pop buyers, you're going to have this lull that comes, and you can talk about, immigration and sort of like way more people than the supply, and that will eventually drive prices. Who does that benefit? The people that own real estate, not the people that don't. For us, it's about, in today's market, being very, very conservative and strategic on what land we acquire. What do people want to buy? At what price? Can we make the numbers work? We're a bit different where, we get a lot of deals off market. We have a lot of relationships in the industry. We perform very well with our partners. And they want to continue to give us business. They want to give us land. They want to give us opportunities because we are overachievers at pretty much every juncture of every level. And so for us, it's being understanding that maybe there are deals where you're like, I really want this deal. I really want this location, but the math doesn't work. And so you got to walk away. Identifying new submarkets, new communities that make sense, and the money and the dollar values make sense. We value engineer our plates so that we're offering low end prices. People always come you get these calls, Matt, and you're like, hey, I want like 1,000 square feet. Oh, that's great. Okay, great. Okay, well, what's your budget? Oh, it's around like 400,000. Yeah. It's not what you want. Yeah. Right? This whether it's resale or pre-con, it's not what you want. It's what can you afford? That's the first question. It's not what you want, because if it's what you want, if we're talking about what I want, then I'll never buy, because that means I'm waiting to save up for a mansion or a 2,000 square foot penthouse that you're never going to buy. Yeah. And the market's going to pass you by. And a lot of the people that you're probably dealing with and I'm dealing with are first-time buyers that are just trying to get in and trying to ride the wave, or they're buying for the kids. So it's just getting end prices to this point that it's attractive by making things smaller. Do we want to make things smaller? Not necessarily, but we also recognize that that's kind of the way the market works, right? It's end prices is king. Like you talked about PSF, and I've had a war with the PSF talk since I started this industry, when I realized PSF is a figure that a builder would use because you're talking about a whole building, all the GFA. Whereas, it's all about end price. So, for example, you can have high PSF, right? You're saying $1,600, but I told you the end price was $450K. Not bad, right? Yep. Where if it was $1,600 and the price was $1.5 million, then I'd say that's not cheap. Yeah. When you go to a bank, you don't say, hey, I need a pre-approval for $1,600 a foot. The bank will say, oh, that doesn't mean anything to me. Yeah. What's the end price? What did you buy? What can you afford? I can afford $650,000. Great. Then you go resale, and you look up buildings that are in that price range. Right? PSF is it's like, I don't know. People don't really know why they use it. And look, the smaller the unit, the higher the PSF. The bigger unit, in theory, the lower the PSF. Yeah. But it shouldn't. It can dictate, but it shouldn't drive your decision making. Yeah. It should be, what is the end price? What am I in for? What can I afford? Yeah. And what you can afford is what you should get in for, because the market moves so fast. Yeah. Like when we get excited in GTA. We like the Leafs. We like our sports. Yeah. We love lining up for food, and we love to buy real estate. Yes. And in good markets, we're all gung ho. We want to overpay until the cows come home. And in bad markets, we're like, everyone just calm down. Yeah. which is kind of backwards.
It is backwards.
Right. So, I mean, you talk about condos and where markets are going, is that even in the worst of times, in the last 12 months, the condos swung like on average 10%.
Yep.
It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
It's actually like quite risk adverse. Why? Because it's the most affordable thing. It's not
true.
a $1.5 million. It's not $2 million. It's $700K. Most people, that's their entry level, right? Like their first home is a condo, not a house, right? So, when people talk ill of the market, I think they're talking about it in that one point in time, and they're not looking at it holistically, big picture. They just want to jump on the bandwagon and say, but hey, listen, wait till you own some real estate and then tell me how you feel, because
sure.
you're going to feel a lot better owning real estate than not, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. And you mentioned your plates. You guys maximize a lot of the space, and you're good with your floor plans and all that. But these smaller units, do you find, like, how are they in terms of selling? Do you think people are going to wrap their heads around, okay, screw it, bachelor is the way to go, it's okay to live in a bachelor studio?
I think there's the one side of like the practical side, which is, can I live in this? In most cases, it's parents buying for their kids. It's people just trying to get into the market. And I think they get past that when it's like, wow, what are my options? Oh man, my options are, I can't even consider. So to a degree, that doesn't matter. On the other side, look, a lot of people, when you live in a home, you live in a student residence, you're stuck to a room.
It's true.
When you live in France, when you live in Hong Kong, when you live in New York, you're stuck to a room. It's small. We're no different. We're just very privileged to have houses, and the old product isn't generally bigger. There's options. You can buy bigger if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a massive audience out there where it's not what I want, it's what can I afford. And what I can afford is generally smaller product. So I think people have adapted well. I think there should be a focus on micro-sized furniture. There's a business for you, right? That specializes only in that. Bam, I want 15% of this idea, by the way.
Okay, no problem.
Done. Partnership. There you go.
I'm not going to implement it. I have too much stuff on the go, but for whoever's out there, add 15% for me.
Boom. So 30%.
30% for both of us.
70. There you go.
Yeah.
And so it's just the transition of the city adapting to the new reality, right? It's almost like rental. I want a 2-bedroom, but it's got to be under $3,000. It's not what you want. It's what can you afford. These are the options. They're not the best options, but do you want to live somewhere? Yes, I have to live somewhere. So I think part of it is that, and like to have real estate in that 500,000, 600,000 category, it's rare.
Yeah, it is.
It's not easy to find.
It's good to feed the market with that.
They need it.
Yeah, it is. It's a good outlook. I like it.
How many people can give you 900K?
Yeah, no.
Who's got 180 Gs sitting around, to pay 20% and then go eat that mortgage? As the price goes up, the smaller the audience, right? So, that's the name of the game, and it always will be. And I think if, for us, that's been our bread and butter, that's our focus. I think that's pretty timeless. There's no market condition where pricing is not highly, highly prioritized and a big focus. Yeah, look, it's not the Shangri-La. But how many people are trying to go trade in the Shangri-La?
Yeah.
It's not your audience.